Gundam.tk presents High Grade Age-2 Double Bullet.
Hey, what's up again everybody? It's Robert184, 2 R's 2B's from GundamReviews.net, and as the Age-2 normal spins around there, don't forget that the plates are empty and now it's time to take a look at the parts for the Age-2, its first wear variation, the Double Bullet. Here's what you get for the main body parts, and you'll notice that there's a lot more red than on the Age-2 normal. The red continues there with the shoulder mounts, the twin Dodds cannons, and the all-too-familiar beam sabers for ASM. 3 extra manipulators, a hip joint there that you're going to replace when you transform it, and a base which is going to work in both modes. To kick things off with the legs, you can see that they are going to be quite a bit different from the Age-2 normal, bulkier and certainly a lot squarer, which is going to suit it when it's in its flight mode. But in terms of the actual just visual appeal, I'd say it's not that exciting from the front, especially when you bend the knee. You are going to get a good bend there and there, but you're just going to have a whole bunch of knee exposed there with the guard up on the top. These are the kinds of things that Gundams just are not doing anymore. However, remember that's needed for the old S transformation, as we've seen back in the day with Gundam Wing. However, you are going to have the little bonus that on the back there are these calf missiles, and you just pop them down, you can see that there's a little raised part there. And when you do that, it's a little bit hard to get your lining pen in there, but it's still cooler that they've got it rather than not. Some of the lining here, you can see that it's really hard to get into deep channels, so you might be better off with a real touch marker than a regular lining marker. You can see that the lining went in, and the red looks better than the blue, I'd say, certainly more Gundam-y. And for comparison's sake here, you can just see how much bigger it is for the double bullet. The feet are going to be identical, they're just color swaps down there, but you've just got that smooth and sleekness all over the place, including that extra color wrap there. Whereas here you've got the calf missiles and just a whole bunch more bulk. The waist section worked on the Age-2 normal and it's going to be identical here. And so is the chest thing though, even though this is going to be a little bit detrimental. First of all, I wonder if they couldn't put red shoulders on there very similar to the Titus, as you may be able to see back there. I thought that was a cool touch that they at least swapped off the one parts. The head to have all those seals and all those color parts there, everything about this head is just amazing for a high grade, no complaints there whatsoever. But here where you put in the Dodds rifle, the Hyper Dodds, it's going to really stand out here, even more so on the double bullet. It looks like you could do a triple bullet if you want to go play around with that. It would have been nice though if they had given you the option of covering that up, because it is very conspicuous for something you're not going to use all that often. Back to the new stuff though, in the form of the limbs. First of all, for mobility, you can see that this is just going to attach on here and it'll move up and down as well. You can rotate the shoulders around, you're going to get a bend like this and like this, so about 135. You can see the way the elbows come across there. The wrists are just going to move around there, nothing like the 00 stuff. But what impressed me is where you attach these parts up on the top, you can rotate this around and you are able to spin these all the way around. So when you put the binders on, you should have some pretty cool looking options. And even though this one has its extra blue parts already added on, you can see that this one has some lining opportunities that are sort of fading over time. I put a little bit of lining down there. You can move these parts down here. They're in that triangular shape that you can move around. Depending if you wanted to put a shield on, of course, that matters a lot more for the normal. You do get these cool closed fists, which is nice. You do get 2 of those to go along with the open variety. And whereas this one, you just put this part on and it rotates. Remember, you do get all that moving stuff up there, which is all looking good, including the fact that they give you that gray detail on the inside. And here is your dynamic open hand, and there's your regular weapons holding hands for left and right. I'll show you this whole thing put together first. You've got the twin Dodds cannons down here, and you're going to have this gray part there on the back. You've got a gray part here that's going to hold everything together to go along with this white part. And Bandai, again, is just doing a very good job of giving you the impression that despite the fact they're using few pieces of plastic, that you've actually got more color apps than you do, and that applies to that gray stripe down there. Anyway, everything is looking good. You can see that this is just going to attach onto the shoulders, so you're not going to have too much exciting stuff there, except for the fact that you're going to have a full spin there. It's not going to move around like that, but you may have seen there the way that the cannon is going to attach in and then detach itself. It's pretty solid. You can put beam sabers in there when it's just like this, and you aren't going to have any more moving parts. Down here, this is very underwhelming. When you see him pull out 2 of them in the anime, I thought they were going to be huge, as big as the Dodds rifle itself. Certainly far from it. You can pull this down and put it in hand, but you wonder if it's even going to fit in there. Trying it in hand, though, alleviates those concerns, but it certainly just doesn't come across as being one of the bigger Gundam weapons, although again, he is going to be at least dual wielding with them. Here's the regular beam sabers that we're very familiar with, and you can just plug those into the back of the skirts there. But of more importance, and certainly something that was missed out because I did the unbox before I actually saw the episode with the double bullet in it. And how cool was that when it revealed that these are more than beam sabers that fit into here. They're actually beams of light or wings of light, and do all sorts of damage, would have been cooler to get some bigger effect parts, and that's something, as I'm looking at the Titus back there, that maybe will get addressed with the Master Grade. The action base is going to be very, very familiar. You can just rotate this part around here, depending on which way you want to have it going. Remember that you've got this L-shaped attachment points up there. You can plug in the extra manipulators down there, which is always a bonus, and this hip transformation part, which you're not going to be using unless he's transformed, you can plug in here and sort of call that out of the way. Overall, there was more than enough changes from the Age-2 normal to make this an interesting build again, to at least have all new limbs to go along with the new weapon system that are going to stick on. Deceptively simple, and yet it's going to work pretty well, I think, and those little color apps that poke out all over the place are certainly a big plus. The beam sabers do look really cool on there. Can't wait to have them coming out of the shoulder. Would have been nice if they were a little bit larger, but overall, stay tuned for the next part where you can see the mobile suit and it transformed, and I can't wait to see the double bullet as it gets ready to go cut through about 14 vegan suits. Anyway, everybody, Robert184, why don't you let me know what you think with a comment down below, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.